Not me. Some other brothers that were doing it. So,
but I want to ask them a question though. How much of the park? How much is under the royal parks? Up to which? Where is the border?
I think the street.
Is it the street? Are you sure?
I think so. You can ask them. Yes.
The policy say congregational prayer or single.
Hello. How are you doing?
Good. Yourself?
What's your name?
This is Jamil, yeah? Tell me.
Jamil.
Yeah, how can I help
okay,
you?
so the policy, as far as we know it, we've looked at it carefully.
Yeah. Okay.
It said that you're not allowed to pray in congregation.
You're not allowed to pray at all in royal parks.
No, that's not what the policy
That's
says.
regulations. It's not a policy. It's a regulation.
Pardon?
It's an act of law.
Pardon?
Regulation is an act of law.
Which one? So we can refer to it, please.
Yes, royal parks and other spaces open regulation
Because
1997.
here what it said, as far as we know, first and foremost, this park,
Yes.
which is under the crown or whatever, yeah?
Royal
It's a
park.
charity, yeah?
It's a royal park.
Yeah, it's a royal parks. There's like 6 or 7 parks. Now I read it in their official website, yeah? What it said was that you're not allowed to pray in congregation. Now, the information we've been given also from other police officers is that individual acts of worship do not go under that. So in other words, if someone wants to, whether they're Christian, Muslim or Jewish, if they want to pray individually, then they're allowed to do so. This is what I have learned.
Okay. And
So-
as a police officer, I'm telling you very nicely, no praying in royal parks.
No, but here what
If you go outside royal parks,
Okay,
pray
so let's
anywhere
bring
you
out.
say.
Can you please bring out the thing, the royal parks thing, because I want to read it out to you. Because here, because we're trying to follow
I heard
the.
the word individual
Right.
clearly.
Yeah.
Because individually shouldn't be
No,
a problem.
Police Jamil. We'll read it.
Because imagine I'm a Christian and I say, hey, Jesus, hallelujah. That is a prayer, isn't it? It's the same thing.
They say no. They say no.
Yeah, they're saying one, you're not allowed. Yeah, one person you're allowed.
Because they just stopped. He tried to pray on his own all the way down there, and they just stopped him.
Pardon? Yeah, we're getting a copy of it now to show them. Have you got it?
I'm bringing.
Can you bring it?
Stop people praying.
Praying individually, yeah.
They tried to pray on his own, and they went all the way down there and stopped him. He was all the way down there.
Okay. What's your what was your name?
Sergeant Berry.
Sergeant, yeah? So are you the supervisor here?
Yeah.
Sergeant Berry. Like the fruits. Okay, nice.
Royal parks.
Okay, can we get it, please? By the way, this is not legislation. For us, all we've been notified is that it's policy.
The religious bit is policy.
Yeah, it's policy. So he said it's legislation.
Royal parks is a regulation. It's an act of law.
Assembly is under the regulations, which is an offence.
All right, have you got it?
So you say not individually.
All right, thank you. Now I'm gonna Mr. Jamil, I'm gonna read this out. Okay, this is here. Look, as you can see here, please. It says religious activity in the royal parks. It says the royal parks does not permit collective acts of worship or other religious observances in the TRP estate, either in their own right or as part of a demonstration, event or other activity. This includes spoken or sung communal prayers or other events that are primarily religious in focus. Exceptions are made for annual events, etc. in the First World War. And then it continues. It says, as a public body, it is not the place of the royal parks to make value judgments between one religious observance and another. We must either permit all collective religious observances or refuse them all. Our approach is to continue to refuse all such observances on the grounds that they are not traditional park-related activities, and the disadvantages to the public at large of allowing them almost certainly outweigh the benefits to the adherents of particular religion or belief. The policy extends to the construction of structures within the estate with the religious significance. So here, as you can see,
It doesn't even mention a single person playing.
no, hold on, sorry, you're not going to say it in this moment of time. Sorry, my friend, sorry. Here, I'm going to dictate the terms of the conditions.
Why would you do that?
Because you cannot, in my presence, do make laws. Sorry, my friend. Listen to me carefully. Both of you listen. Both of you listen.
If you keep your voice
No,
down, the way
this
I'm
is
keeping
speaker's
my
corner.
voice down,
This is
okay.
speaker's corner.
So am I allowed to shout
Your
also?
job, Mr. Jamil, your job.
Am I allowed to shout as well?
No, you can raise your voice if you want to.
That's him. Like you, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
Mr. Jamil and Mr. Berry, your jobs are not to create policies or laws.
Okay.
Your jobs are to enforce them.
So we are doing that.
What I'm saying is I've just provided the evidence from the royal parks.
Okay. Does it say anywhere about a single person praying?
No, it says collective is not allowed.
There's
The
no
opposite of
mention-
collective is singular.
There's no mention about a single person praying.
Is English
either.
your first language?
I'm a lawyer by profession, by
It's
the way.
not, my friend.
Yeah? Okay.
Is English your first language?
Yeah.
Hold on, sorry.
No,
sorry.
hold on, man.
Is English your first
I'm a
language?
law graduate. I've got masters
No,
in law.
no problem.
Okay, tell
But
me.
is English
tell
your
me
first
on
language?
On that line, does it say anywhere?
Mr.
Even
Jamil,
a single person
is
praying. It doesn't
English-
mention anywhere.
in my estimation-
Does it mention anywhere?
Mr. Jamil, Mr. Jamil, I don't believe. Well, hold on. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
If English is not your first language, which clearly it isn't.
Okay.
Now, the opposite of a collective is an individual.
Okay.
All right. So if it's prohibiting collective action, which in English language could actually only mean two or more,
Okay.
you've prohibited an individual action.
But we
Now-
have lots of people here.
No, I'm sorry, but no.
Yeah.
But listen.
And even if you pray
Listen.
individually, effectively you're doing.
No. That's not what the policy says. Collective acts of worship of a religious nature are different to individual acts of worship. Now, what we're saying is, no, hold on. This is Speaker's Corner. So what we're going to say here, we made an announcement this morning, very clear announcement in the early afternoon, that we will be willing to go by the regulations of the park.
Police is corrupt.
Excuse me, go. Leave. Now, having said that, we are saying that we are willing to go with the policies of the park, and we've said that very clearly, and it's on camera, so that all of the Muslims are aware that we are law-abiding, policy-abiding citizens that are willing to communicate, conciliate, and reconcile with the police forces. And we've done that over and over again, despite the right-wing aggressions and all these things that have happened in recent weeks. But there is a difference between collective acts of worship and individual acts of worship. I believe, Jamil and Berry, that what you have to do now is offer this man a public apology for stopping him from praying, where in your rights you had no reason to do that. You're inventing policy. So I'm going to give you a chance, before this goes on some kind of front page newspaper and you lose your job, to apologize to him and go and leave.
Okay, we won't be apologising.
Have you been given instructions? Have you been given instructions
Yes.
to stop individual acts of worship?
Okay.
Yeah.
As I say, everybody coming in here on a Sunday, because you're coming in here in large groups, my view would be that it's part of an assembly which is against the park regulations.
Is that so you're an interpreter of policy now?
Everybody is an interpreter, and ultimately the courts would, with regards to the
Absolutely,
policy,
yeah.
with regards to the regulations, would interpret it. They have to interpret.
So here, no, listen.
My interpretation at this time.
So your interpretation is that a singular person, whether they be Muslim, Christian, or Jew,
It's not.
is and they want to pray, whether they say, "Oh Jesus," or this and that.
right.
So what is Speaker's Corner then? What has it become?
Speaker's Corner is about speaking.
Speaking. So if someone speaks and prays at the same time, what are you going to do? So right now I'm praying, Ya Allah. Are you going to arrest me? Or are you going to advise me? Because for me, praying individually entails supplicating.
It is allowed, Muhammad.
Is it a crime? So what is the difference between me saying or a Christian saying, "Oh Jesus," praying individually, and someone and this man here wanting to perform acts of worship individually? What has this become? What are you doing? Who are you being paid by? Who's being advised?
Those allowed by
No,
Steve.
seriously, what is this?
Steve.
No, and moreover,
At this moment in time, we are requesting people not to pray.
Individual is allowed.
so
We were
so
told last
for
week
us,
by the police.
so Mr. Berry and Mr. Jamil, Mr. Berry, my friend, hold on, Mr. Berry and Mr. Jamil, I would like to tell you straightforwardly, right here and right now, our policy in regards to the police as the Muslims, we have united and we have actually put a 3-strike policy. And I want you to understand the policy. We have put to the Muslims that they are not allowed to pray in congregation because that's what the rules are.
Which we thank.
Thank you very much for thanking me, but you also have to allow me to express myself because this is meant to be, after all, Speaker's Corner. Now, having said that,
We're not here to participate.
No problem. So
we are here to keep.
So here, what we're saying is that there is a policy in place. We've said we respect that policy.
That's good.
We also said, and this is a clear message to the police. استنى وامشي امشي يا حبيبي امشي. Take him away.
Muhammad,
استنى يا حبيبي استنى يا حبيبي.
what's wrong with you?
So anyways, what we're saying is, at the end of the day, what we're saying is, as Muslims, we've said there's a 3-strike policy. The first strike, if we have a panel of 5 Muslims, we see that you are unjustly or unequally treating Muslims.
We endeavour to treat
Fine.
everybody.
Today there's been one strike already, which is going to go to the panel members, where there was a group of African Christians singing and dancing, which is on camera, and no one reprimanded them.
I haven't seen that.
So, okay, well, you have to be a bit more stringent about exercising your policies.
While I was here.
Okay, well, whilst you weren't here, but now you have to do the job, Mr. Berry, of going to every religious group that want to go and speak to, that want to go and congregate for religious purposes, and enforcing the law justly and equally, because that's exactly what the policy said. If it's not for one religious group, it's not for any religious group.
We are not picking out any.
Number two, thank you. Number two, as far as we are concerned, our interpretation, we've also consulted legal people.
Steve told us.
Yeah, and Steve told us, and Stephen told us ourselves. So there's a contradiction in what you're telling us. Praying individually is not a problem within the royal parks, and there's nothing that you can say today to change that reality. So what our message is to the Muslims is continue to pray, despite of what these people are trying to say, because we have no reason now, from a law perspective or from a policy perspective, to think otherwise. All right, unless you get the royal parks to change their stance on it, then I would say
you can. As I've said to other people, you have the opportunity to make representations to the Royal Parks Agency.
we've already spoken to the royal
We're going
parks.
to pray individually here.
So we're going to
That's
pray
how we
individually
go
here.
last week.
That's what's going to continue to
If you
happen.
all pray, that's not individually, is it?
No,
not
I didn't say we all pray. The words I've used today in this discourse with you is we are going to pray individually. So in other words, if there's one Muslim in one particular location, I said one. One cannot mean collective. If you bring the Oxford Dictionary out, or if you bring the Collins Dictionary out, or if you bring the Webster Dictionary. Thank you very much.
We're still close.
Brothers, don't do that.
Do you want to say comment?
Pardon?
Do you want to speak to your cameras?
Okay, so yes, you see guys, this is becoming, as you can see here, it's becoming a little bit pedantic, and every week they try and get one officer with a Muslim name to try and put a little bit of pressure on us to doing things which we are not obliged to do either legally or through the policies of the royal parks.
Regulation.
Now, as Muslims in this day, we started off this afternoon by making a very straightforward claim that we will be willing to comply with the regulations. But now what's happening is Nuremberg law style regulations are starting to come from these police officers who have started to reinvent their own laws and exercise those laws, being judge, jury and executioner. Obviously, they have no legislative capabilities, and so when the law says collective, we cannot interpret that into meaning individual in any way in the English language, unless you want to change the English language to another language. Do not continue to seemingly, because according to us, the Muslim community, we're starting to feel under pressure now. Do not try and infringe upon our rights, because if you do that, that is when you'll see a protest of the highest magnitude in Speaker's Corner history with the Muslims. And Ramadan is coming. And wallahi, we will make, and we've never done this before, but we will make the biggest collective worship, and I say collective, and against, in opposition to the so-called policies in this place. We'll make a Friday worship here, we'll make a Saturday worship, a Sunday worship. We will try and make this place a mosque for one day. Don't test us and don't mess with us, because at the end of the day, when it comes to pushing Muslims to doing things that are otherwise not even in the law, that's when you become corrupt or otherwise like those developing countries that you like to criticize. So having said that, guys, know full well your limits, your democratic, your legal, and your actual limits as police officers. Don't push it, because believe me, we do have our right to protest. We understand our rights. We have lawyers amongst us. And don't think for a moment that you're going to be able to step on our toes and we're going to just turn around and say thank you very much. And that's all we have to say. That's all we have to say. Thank you very much.